What's going on, traders? A few things to talk about. It's going to be a pretty long video, so I need you guys to lock in. I want to get you guys prepared for what could potentially happen from this point on. Before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So the first thing we're going to do is go over Nvidia, and then we're going to go over the Semiconductor ETF SMH, because I think Nvidia is giving us a sign of what can potentially happen from this point on. A key level that I mentioned to you guys in the last video when it comes to Nvidia, and I even mentioned this in the Discord multiple times, is 184. When we go to the 4-hour time frame, we saw bulls try to break us above that key level of 184, 184.4 more or less. And we ended up failing back towards the downside. Not only did we fail back towards the downside, but we ended up breaking back below the 21 MA. As long as Nvidia stays below 184, you open up the floodgates to 173. As you guys can see, there is nothing but space and opportunity down here. There's an empty void down here. I do imagine at some point in time, Nvidia does need to head back down here. And when you look up here, you see nothing but bears. Nothing but bears, right? There's hardly any bullish candles in this area here. And even when you do have bullish candles, they're pretty much dojis. They're pretty much non-existent. So this only tells me that bears are looking to push Nvidia further down. Now, one thing I mentioned in the last video is anytime you form these massive inside bar candles, these massive bearish inside bar candles, it is very hard for Nvidia to break above them. You have one right here. Nvidia attempted, or bulls attempted to break us above it, ended up failing. There's another one all the way back here, right? And there's multiple back here actually. Bulls tried to break us above it, ended up failing back towards the downside. And so I imagine we're looking at the same scenario here, where bulls are going to try to attempt to break us above this inside bar candle or this bearish engulfing candle. It doesn't necessarily matter what you call it. The point is bears are extremely present here, and they're ultimately going to end up failing, right? And as long as we stay below 184, we're heading towards 173. Lowest we're looking at is most likely the 100 MA at around 167. Now, like I said before, I said this multiple times before, I think Nvidia is a great buying opportunity at around the 153, 150 level, right around this area right here. And the reason why I say that is because we broke out of this area right here, but we never retested it. So I do imagine that at some point in time, Nvidia is trying to, or is going to try to head back down here. And I think this is a great buying opportunity. And so that leads me to talk about SMH, Semiconductor ETF. And so when we're looking at SMH, I mentioned in the last video, when we're looking at the weekly time frame, you're trading against this trend line here. Right, you got a rejection here, you got multiple rejections here, and you ended up rejecting here as well, and you ended up forming another inside bar candle or a bearish engulfing candle. It doesn't necessarily matter what you call it. The point is that this is a bearish sign. Now, to my surprise here, I really thought that bulls would try or make some type of attempt to pretty much head back towards 350. We didn't even get above, we barely got above 340, if that, right? And so I imagine that we're probably going to head back towards the downside. And again, there is nothing but bears present in this area. And I do believe bears are trying to break us further down. If we cannot reclaim 350, I do imagine that SMH is going to head back towards 323. We talked about this level in the past. And if you get below 323 or even the 21 MA at that, you are heading much lower and you open up the floodgates towards 298. At minimum, you're looking at 307. So you really want to be careful here. I would say pay attention to SMH. If SMH is not breaking above 350, any type of bullish move in the market, I'm going to assume is a bull trap. All right, until we get signs from the semiconductor ETFs that we're going to see some type of breakout or, you know, blow off top, whatever the case may be, I would not trust any more upside that the market is giving. That's just me. You do what you want with this information. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to trade any upside, right? I can day trade, you know, I can scalp, I can do what I want when it comes to trading. But as far as swing trading the upside, I just don't think it's safe right now until we get some life out of Nvidia, SMH, TSM earnings, ASML earnings, something like that. Until we get life or some type of confirmation that we're breaking above this trend line and where bulls are absolutely present here, I just would not trust the upside. That's just me. Again, do what you guys want with that information. All right, so now when we look at the triple Qs and the SPY, we're going to start with the SPY first. Like I said in the last video, all right, 665 is your key level, right? If you can't get above 665, you're probably going to trade in this range for quite some time. I do think the market is probably going to do this range trading for, I don't know, the next week or so. I could be wrong. I would love to see some type of breakdown, some type of discount, something to confirm that, you know, we can start buying again at cheaper prices. But for now, it looks like we're just going to keep doing this annoying move back and forth. And so as long as we stay below 665, we're heading towards 662, which we saw at close 662.2. You manage to get below 662.2, you're heading towards 659.8 right here where these guys are. You break below 659.8, you're heading towards 655, and then lowest you're looking at is about 653, 652.3, right? And so if we can get above 665, because today, I mean, you zoom in, you look at the 4-hour time frame. I mean, you saw multiple times we tried to break above this 665 level. You got a rejection here, and today you ended up rejecting here as well. So bulls tried, right? And it's not to say that they gave up, but they did try, right? They did try, and so it's very much possible that we try again, right? I could maybe tomorrow we get OpenAI news all over again. Who knows, right? We keep getting OpenAI news every single day, so who knows who's next, right? Maybe ASML earnings saves today. Who knows? And so if we get above 665, then I do imagine we're heading towards 672. Highest I'm looking at 675, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens from there. And the reason why I say we have to wait and see what happens from there is because bears are extremely present in this area. You got a lot of turbulence in this area, a lot of resistance in this area. So it's going to be tough. I do imagine that we're going to need some pretty good news for us to really break out of this area. You can also argue that there is a double bottom here as well. And then your neckline is at 665, so you'll have this bottom here, right? And then you'll have another bottom here. It's pretty ugly, but, you know, if it looks like the pattern, assume that it is the pattern until proven otherwise. So very much possible that, you know, we see some type of breakout towards the upside. We'll have to wait and see. But again, as long as we stay below 665, 662 is your next level. We held 662, so that could be a good sign. If we get below 662, 659.8, you guys get it by now. All right, so and that leads me to talk about the triple Qs. So just like we talked about with the SPY, your key level here with the triple Qs is 603.1. And again, you saw bulls try to break us above this key level of 603.1. It just couldn't happen, right? It just did not happen. The most you did was fill this gap. You got a little bit above the gap. You ended up retesting 603.1, and then you rejected back towards the downside. We ended up getting news about cooking oil, I guess. I don't know. It looks like, it seems like, you know, institutions are looking for any reason to sell off the market, and just it's ridiculous, right? Cooking oil, we sold off because of cooking oil and possibly some Powell news. Who knows? But for now, I would say remain neutral. It looks like we're probably going to be doing this annoying move back and forth until something bad happens. Maybe government opens back up, we get more data. Who knows? But for now, it looks like it's going to be a pretty annoying market for the next week or so. And I could be wrong. Either way, I would love for the market to dump. I would love for the market to go up. I would love for the market to make some type of real decision from this point on, instead of these drops, wick back up, drops, wick back up, pump, wick back down. It's just annoying. All right, and I'm sure a lot of you are irritated by it by now, but you know, hey, at the end of the day, we're still making our money, but it's still annoying at the end of the day. All right, so 603.1 is your key level. You manage to get below 603.1, you're heading towards 597.5. This is a little bit off, but 597.5 is your key level. You get below 597.5, obviously 595 is your psych level. Then from there, you're looking at 592.5, 593. Right here where these guys are. A lot of bullish wicks down here, guys. A lot of bullish wicks down here, a lot of support down here, rejection here, bounce here, bullish wicks here. You got a massive bullish wick here as well. So you get below 593, I would say 590, since that's your psych level. You're looking at more downside, and you're heading towards the low 580s. So triple Q is kind of fighting this 597. I would say bulls are fighting this 597.5 level, and not only that, they're looking to hold, or they're trying to hold this 21 MA as well. So that's something you want to pay attention to when it comes to the triple Qs. And so we look at the Nasdaq real quick. And so when you're looking at the Nasdaq, your key level here is 24,764. You manage to break and hold below 24,764, then you open up the floodgates. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. 24,500 is your psych level here. Let me mark it out for you guys. And then from there, I mean, you got a lot of turbulence here, but again, you open up the floodgates towards 24,160, more or less. So that's what we're looking at for the Nasdaq when it comes to downside. When it comes to upside, you just need to break above 25,030. All right, you break above 25,030, then chances are you're heading back towards 25,200, 25,250, more or less. ES, 6,700 is your key level that needs to hold. So far bulls are failing at that, but again, I mean, we're probably going to keep doing this for, I don't know, the next day or two. Who knows? I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. All right, but right now ES just does not look anything but terrible here. Again, you have a lot of bears in this area right here, and then you ended up forming an inside bar candle here. I will say that you are trading below this trend line here, but I mean, given what we always see after hours, this can change, and maybe we bounce back towards the upside, but this is just hideous. I don't even know what to make of this, to be honest with you guys. All right, so you broke back below this trend, right? There's a good chance you continue back towards the downside, possibly head as low as 6,400 when it comes to the ES. As you guys know, whenever you break back into a pattern, chances are you're going to continue in that direction. You can also argue that we're possibly forming a head and shoulders pattern here as well. The neckline is kind of hideous, but you know, if it looks like the pattern, assume that it is until proven otherwise. So you have your shoulder here, head here, potential shoulder here, and then your neckline, as ugly as it is, right? That's your neckline. That's terrible. I don't even think that's going to play out. All right, so we'll see. All right, but again, if it looks like the pattern, assume that it is until proven otherwise. So that's what we're looking at for the ES. Bitcoin seeing some type of recovery. We just keep seeing these games being played, man. It's getting ridiculous, right? And you can argue that there's a head and shoulders pattern here. Shoulder here, head here, another shoulder here. You're below the 100 MA. We look at the daily time frame. You are forming this evening star pattern, but I mean, you just pretty much are wicking back towards the upside. So it's just like, what do you do, right? So 114.8 is your key level. We talked about this in the last video. You stay below 114.8, chances are you're heading towards 109K. It looks like you wicked towards that level. I didn't see that happen, but okay, whatever. But 109K is your major level. This is your ultimate final boss level. 109K. You go to the weekly time frame. You see how important this level is. You're right below 109K. You're heading towards 107K. I'm not bearish on crypto until Bitcoin gets below 97K. Plain and simple. All right, so that's what we're looking at for Bitcoin. Now, when we look at order flow, and in case you're wondering, I still use quant data. It's just easier to use cheddar flow on YouTube for you guys. It's just easier to understand for you guys. All right, because quant data takes a lot of memory and it takes a lot of loading. So when it comes to order flow, you got a lot of SPY puts coming in, as you guys can see, a lot. All right, I mean, this looks crazy. This looks absolutely crazy. There's like one call order here. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. Is it hedging? I doubt it. I mean, you're putting tons of premium on hedging if that's the case. This is insane. All right. So unless they're hedging somewhere else with calls, this doesn't look good at all. And a lot of these are coming in for November 21st. So you have a lot of 630 puts coming in. So November 21st, 2025, 630 strike puts, 500K premium here. You have 650 puts for October 31st, 500K premium here. 632 strike puts, 1.1 million premium, and again, these are all for, majority of these are for November 21st. And then you have a lot of short dated puts as well, and the money puts come in for October 17th as well. 680 strike, 680 strike, 675 strike, and these were all loaded at 662, pretty much right before, I want to say right before close. No, these were loaded up midday. But regardless, these puts up here, they were loaded up towards the end of the day. 650 strikes, 630 strikes, 632 strikes. So you guys get the idea. There's a lot of puts coming in. Let's look at triple Qs. I didn't look at triple Qs, so I'm going to be blindsided just like you guys are in case you don't have quant data. So triple Qs looks a little bit better when it comes to flow, right? You do got a little bit calls coming in. A lot of short dated calls. So these were for today, right? 0 DTE today. Then you have some that's further out for January 15th. Pretty much end the money strike calls. Wouldn't make too much of those out of those. Then you got 599 strike puts coming in for, well, actually expiration tomorrow. You got 596 strike puts coming in for tomorrow as well. So triple Qs looks a little bit better, but ultimately, again, you got a lot of puts coming in. And so we look at IWM. And IWM looks slightly better, but you got a lot of end of money calls, so not really much you can make out of this, really, since they're all, majority of these are end of money. And then you have these 255 strike calls for November 21st and 250 strike calls for, what is this, October 31st. So we'll see. But ultimately, I mean, this is kind of scary. The SPY looks kind of scary. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So that's something you want to pay attention to. and screenshot, do what you want with this information. I'm just here to help you guys out. All right. And so let's actually look at IWM. So when it comes to IWM, right now, IWM is trading against this trend. It ended up rejecting this trend today. And then chances are it's going to head back to, as long as it stays below 249.5, chances are it's going to head back towards 242. All right, right where the 21 MA is. You go to the smaller time frame here. Right here, there's a gap all the way at 237 for the IWM. So I don't think IWM is going to head too much higher from here. Maybe you see a wick towards 250 if anything, but yeah, this very illiquid area right here, and then this gap right here as well, I do imagine it's going to get filled. And the reason why I say that is when you look at the triple Qs filled this gap. You look at the SPY filled this gap towards the downside. IWM is the only one that did not fill this gap towards the downside. So that's something you want to keep in mind as well. Rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. We ended up rejecting today here. So pay attention to that. All right, other than that, that's really all I have for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You think this is legit? Do you think this is just hedging? Do you think this is just another excuse to drop the market and then we pump back up again all over again? Tomorrow we get OpenAI news. The Avengers get OpenAI deal or something. I don't know. It's just something ridiculous every time after hours when it comes to OpenAI. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. And until the next video, traders, have a good one.